So let's talk about success. We're always told it's all about hard work, right? The hustle, the grind. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the real key is something you already have, but maybe you just haven't seen it yet? Well, today we're going to dive into that idea using the book The Unfair Advantage to unpack what it really takes to succeed. All right, so first up, we've got to tackle this huge idea that's everywhere, the myth of meritocracy. You know the one. You see someone who's just absolutely crushing it, and the automatic thought is, wow, they must have worked insanely hard. And hey, they probably did. But the authors here argue that if we only focus on hard work, we're missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. And this is a huge point. I mean, think about it. You can build the most incredible, revolutionary product in the world. Pour your heart and soul into it. But if you can't get anyone to actually use it or buy it or invest in it, if you can't get that traction, then all that hard work, well, it just fizzles out. This is exactly where that just work harder idea really starts to fall apart. And one of the authors, Ash Ali, he does not mince words about this. After his experience helping build a massive company like Just Eat, he came to the conclusion that this idea that success is only about hustle is, well, in his words, bullshit. That's a pretty bold statement, and it forces us to look past the motivational posters and get real about the other factors at play. Okay, so to really get a handle on just how uneven the playing field can be, let's look at a real-world example of one of the youngest self-made billionaires ever. And hey, the point here isn't to get you down, but to get a really clear, honest look at how this stuff actually works. Let's start with a big, round number, $1 billion. This is what Snapchat co-founder Evan Spiegel was worth, a self-made billionaire. Pretty impressive, right? But it's not just the number that's mind-blowing. It's the fact that he hit that valuation when he was only 24 years old. So what's the deal? Was he just that much smarter, that much more driven than every other 24-year-old on the planet? Well, the truth is a little more complex. He wasn't just climbing the ladder of success. He was basically strapped to a rocket ship. So what was the fuel for that rocket ship? Well, take a look. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar upbringing, parents who are powerful lawyers, and an education at some of the most elite schools. These weren't just perks, they were doors. Doors that led to introductions to people like the CEO of Google and mentorship from the founder of Intuit. That's a head start most people can't even dream of. And you know what's really interesting? Spiegel himself doesn't shy away from this. He's been really open about it, flat out saying that he got lucky and that life just isn't fair. He recognizes that his incredible journey was powered by more than just a good idea. It was launched from an incredibly privileged starting line. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. Hearing a story like that can feel a little deflating, right? Like, great, but I don't have any of that. But wait, because the whole point of this book is to completely flip that script. It's not about what you don't have, it's about finding and using the powerful advantages that you do have. So let's put a pin in exactly what we mean by an unfair advantage. It's basically any asset or situation that gives you an edge. And this can be anything. Are you a natural at making people laugh and feel comfortable? That's an unfair advantage. Do you have this deep, nerdy obsession with something niche like Korean skincare or 1980s video games? Yep, that's an unfair advantage too. We've all got them. And you don't have to look any further than the authors of the book to see this in action. I mean, they couldn't be more different. Ash Ali grew up in a tough neighborhood, dropped out of college, a total self-taught hustler. Hassan Kubba, on the other hand, had a stable upbringing, got a good degree. Their paths were completely opposite. And it just goes to show there is no single right background for success. Now, for an even more powerful example, let's talk about Oprah Winfrey. Her childhood was filled with things most of us would see as profound, almost insurmountable disadvantages, poverty, trauma, and terrible abuse. But here's the incredible part. That pain, it wasn't just a disadvantage, it was a double-edged sword. Those horrific experiences forged in her an unbelievable level of empathy and emotional intelligence. It gave her the power to connect with people on a level that no one had ever done before. Her biggest disadvantage was transformed into her most powerful, unique, and world-changing unfair advantage. Okay, so this is all great, but how do you actually figure out what your advantages are, especially the ones that are hiding in plain sight? Well, that's where this really cool, practical tool comes in. The authors created something called the MILES framework to help you do an honest audit of your own life. MILES is just an acronym for 5 key areas. Let's break it down real quick. M is for money, Pretty straightforward, the cash you have or can get. I is for intelligence and insight, and this is a big one. It's not just book smarts, it's street smarts, creativity, your unique way of seeing things. L is location and luck. Sometimes it's just about being in the right city at the right time. E is for education and expertise, which covers both your degree and the stuff you taught yourself. And finally, S is for status, your network, your connections, and your personal brand. Now, when you plug our two examples, Evan Spiegel and Ash Ali, into this framework, you get this really clear picture. Spiegel was off the charts in money, location, education, and status from day one. Ash Ali, he started low in all of those. But his strength was in that I category, his intelligence and insight, his street smarts. He leaned into that hard and used it to build his expertise and status from the ground up. See? The goal isn't to be high in every category. It's to know where you're strong and play to it. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that this framework gives you a totally new way to look at things. It's a new lens. Once you start using it, your focus shifts away from what everyone else has and zooms right in on what you bring to the table. It's about building a strategy that's tailor-made for you. Look, the point of this is not to sit around and feel bad about your circumstances or compare yourself to others. It's the opposite. It's about doing a clear, honest audit of your reality. It's about getting brutally honest with yourself so you can build your strategy on a foundation of what's actually true for you. Ultimately, it all boils down to this, and it's incredibly empowering. Stop trying to win someone else's game. Stop trying to copy their path. The real path to success is about finding your unique set of unfair advantages and then building a game around them, a game that only you can win. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Take a minute. Think through that Miles framework. What are your hidden strengths? What's that unique cocktail of assets and experiences that you bring to the table? Because honestly, taking the time to answer that question might just be the most important step you take towards building a future that is uniquely and successfully all yours.